You don't just mistakenly become great at something. You probably at one time or another believe that you can be great at that. And then you work to get great at that, and you reach that greatness.
This is the West, where living life is a test. The quest is to be the best, a cut up of all the rest, yes. So who's on in it for the war stories? Combat, boom, bap, two straps, click, clack, bring it back. All of the above, Dazzy D, Don Dub, West Wit It, yeah, we with it. Show the coast, love with it. Get it, sit back, sip and blow, it's not your ordinary show. We dig deep into the music, it's a science, how we do it. How we do it, teach the class, future, present, and the past. Make it last, hit a smash to our success, raise your glass. So let's begin, it started off with a win. To fans, family, and friends, that's how we get it. West Wit It. We got topics on top of topics. The topic that we always never stopping. Steady bobbing, keep it popping, keep it popping. You're tuned in, so relax, kick back. Dazzy D, Don Dub, West Wit It, so with 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 it, so.
Yeah. And welcome to another episode of West Wit It Show.
Again,
Man,
homie.
Dazzy D, what's up, brother?
Man, top of it, man. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. It was a good week. It was a busy week, but it was a good week, man. So, I'm happy to do this. It's like one of the things I'm starting to look forward to doing and kind of just releasing and getting in the stew and chopping it up and having those conversations, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
How was your week, dog?
Man, it was cool, homie. You know what I'm saying? I dropped the Facts Not Feelings Deluxe this week, man.
Yeah.
I got a few things taken care of, you know what I'm saying? Started my live with my going live with my cooking session. So I've been doing
appropriate. I think that's appropriate. Yeah, I looked up, I was moving around and I jumped on the book real quick just to tap in. Sometimes you check in and see what the updates are, and I seen you up there with the NPC chopping that joint up. It was banging, man. I like that look, man. You got to keep doing that, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, homie. I was debating, was I gonna keep going, but now it's official. I'm gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, you got to keep doing that, bro. It's too much sauce in there, man. You doing some crazy things in the studio. You mentioned the deluxe album, shameless self-promotion. I mean, Loud Silence, man. We talked about it last episode, but the deluxe is even more fantastic, man. Y'all should go check that out if you haven't already. Matter of fact, me and wifey after this is going to the movie, so that's playing when when you hook the phone up, it play with you. You know what I mean? So it's one of them. It's one of them.
That move, you feel me? Survive, like they say, it's a vibe, brother.
Fellas, if you hearing me, if you're on your Mac and playing stacking, man, you gotta have that in rotation. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, but we had some interesting takes and clips and things like that. This episode last week that kind of popped up on us. The first things first, man. Snoop Dogg, man, on Death Row Records, and this gospel record that he announced. What are you calling it? He is naming the joint.
It's a dedication too, right? The
Altar Call. It's called Altar Call, and then it comes out on the 27th on Death Row Records, right?
Yeah.
And it's a dedication album to his late mother. Rest in peace. He felt like it was something that he's supposed to be doing. His mom always encouraged him to do, and I think this is his second. This will be a second gospel album, gospel themed album.
Yeah,
I saw some clips throughout the weeks, little teasers and things. How they starting to do the rollout after they announce it. They start to show you some stuff, some in the studio stuff, and it seemed like it's gonna be that gospel Baptist shout praise type music, high energy. You know what I'm saying? Intentionally, and this is his words in the studio, is that he felt like gospel albums kind of start slower than they climax and they kind of end. He's going kind of, from the clips, it seems like he's trying to attack it all the way through, just high energy gospel praise type. You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to that look. The chatter and some of the responses with mixed messages online. And I think we've talked about this briefly before with the branding of the new Death Row Records, or Death Row Records under his leadership and guidance. How you feel about the branding and the alignment with a gospel album on Death Row?
I'm going to appreciate it, brother. I'm going to appreciate it. I think the first album, if it got that vibe, I'm appreciated. There was a few songs on there that actually got me through some things. So
yeah, that's what's up.
You're gonna do the same thing, bro.
That's what's up. I think I like his intentional effort to take the music that he's putting real energy behind on Death Row to in another direction. You know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying? I think that is changing the narrative around the label, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's a storied past, historic run. Probably never be another one like it. But now under him, it's a lot of R&B, alternative R&B and hip hop music, right? Mary Jane
Yeah.
is a dual threat. She can sing and rap. I think she's pushing a single right now. October London, who's got a lot of Marvin Gaye type feel and sound, dropped a whole project kind of catering to that Marvin Gaye vibe under Death Row. And they got another brother that I seen just rolling out now. I forget his name, though. Forgive me. But he just started teasing his new record, which is another like R&B sound. So far, no mainstream hip hop, um, gangster rap acts
Yes,
under
sir.
the banner of Death Row with Snoop at in the driver's seat. Um, what you think about that?
I can see where he trying to, spread the hustle. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I see
yeah.
what he's trying to do.
Mhm.
I like the direction. I'm not sure if so many, because he still got what's her name? What's the sister name? He just dropped some more
Jane
stuff on
Jane Hancock.
Jane Hancock.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just dropped.
that's her name, Jane Hancock. I said something else. I said Mary Jane, didn't I? I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
Jane Hancock. Yeah. That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
She from the Bay.
she just dropped
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
The other dude, I forgot who that brother name is. Forgive me for that, but he just dropped something. I like his sound too. He got that old like soprano high voice.
Yeah, it's
Like,
old soul type Motown.
yeah,
That's the vibe over there right now.
yeah. So that he's dope. They
Mhm.
just dropped that, and yeah, I'm digging it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would like to see him mix it up a little bit though. Like I would love to hear that new Corrupt album. You know what I'm saying?
It's one in the cut, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Scotty been
wanna
working, he been
hear that.
moving around. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what's up, man. I think it's good, man. I want to I want the new generation to kind of understand why that's being done, though. I think not a lot of story. I mean, there's hella documentaries out there about the old Death Row, but I don't think
mm,
he's put enough press out there about what he wants Death Row to be. In
yeah,
line with what the moves that he's making. You know what I'm saying? And I
yeah,
think that's probably one of the pieces missing. Maybe he's got something coming. I don't know. Um, but I would look forward to seeing some of that happen.
yeah,
To kind of bring that full story home and kind of align with some of the marketing that the agendas they doing with the records they pushing out.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I appreciate the rollout too, man, because it seems like
yeah,
he's setting everybody up. Even
yeah.
we can't even forget Baby Girl, man. She just dropped something new a couple days ago. His daughter Chalk.
Oh yeah. I peeped that. I peeped that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I peeped.
yeah,
So it's like it's got a whole different vibe. It's been revamped. Logo's still the
yeah,
same, but the energy around it is different, right? The family
yeah,
R
yeah.
and
It
B.
got that like that electro
Yeah,
house feel to it. It's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. I peeped that. I peeped
It's
that.
dope.
Yeah, it's really dope. Um, Ernest, uh, getting gone. Country
Mm,
record. I checked it
mm,
out. You put me on game. You hit me to it earlier this week. I played it. I like the record, bro. I like
yeah,
I like it for a few reasons. One, I like the representation in that genre from us. I like what they're doing over there, the Beyoncé's, the Shabuzis, and I like
yeah,
how they pushing over there and the type of music that they putting on and the scenery that the feel is given. I like that alternative look for blacks. We're not just one thing, right?
yeah,
Um, I think I think the record specifically is dope, man. I think it's a dope feature. Snoop does a lot of features. I didn't know he did so many rap features, even from some smaller artists or international artists that we don't even know.
yeah,
'Cause sometimes you could jump on Apple Music or Spotify and you'll see his feature with another artist, and we're like, "Who the hell is this?" Right? And
yeah,
he's cutting these records with these emerging artists, and they're not really getting a lot of press. Maybe they're getting pressed locally, but
yeah.
you think he's keeping himself in the algorithm with that, or you think he really enjoys these different styles and genres and subgenres of music?
Yeah, I think he's doing it, because a lot of his features, yeah, like you say, he been spreading it though. He been spreading the hustle, but
Mm.
he makes sure whenever he release an artist, they got one with him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Kind of
yeah,
dope.
for sure.
Because the feature with Ernest is dope, and I,
Yeah,
I like the Ernest record, man. I really do. I think what I appreciate anything authentic, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I
That's
think
my
it's
biggest thing. Long as it's authentic, I don't care what. genre it is. But if it's authentic in that genre, I respect it. And that particular record, you know what I'm saying, coming from Death Row, it's an authentic country record. I appreciate it.
Oh, is the Ernest cat on Death Row? He's a Death Row
Yeah,
artist.
I think so.
Oh wow.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
think
I
so.
didn't.
I
I
think
didn't
it's a
really.
subsidiary. I think he's
Yeah.
going through Death Row via
Okay.
somebody else.
Okay. Yeah. That's a cold look then. If that's the case,
Yeah,
yeah. That's cold. I like that.
yeah.
Um, we got a lot of news and music and tech that we about to get into. Um, you, there's some interesting things on the horizon. Uh, let me go to this first piece of information so we could get into that.
Hello. You have a collect call from.
Oh, shit. Y'all listening to West Wit It, my grandbabies, Dazzy and Don Dub. This that real Rachel shit. God damn it, lace up your chucks, get your hog mogs and chitlins ready, cause this shit is funky, baby. Ooh, I got gas. That's right, West Wit It, Dazzy and Don Dub. We don't give up.
But I wanted you to check this takeout from Too Short.
Trying to make this album sound like 1992 on purpose.
Yeah, nice.
Just because I'm like, if I sit here right now and try to make the newest, hottest radio rotation, that ain't where I'm at. I don't even care about is it gonna get spun on 50 radio stations. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm about to make some music that sounds good to me, and you know, you just gonna have to fit in, man.
We say.
So Short is rolling out a new album, right?
Okay.
And this is, obviously his media run to support that, right? I just started listening to the album this morning, just kind of put my ears on it. It's been out, I think yesterday. It came out last night. It definitely sounds like old Cocktails Too Short.
Wow.
And so what he's saying in this clip is something like that. I think the overarching theme is, you sticking to what you do well and being fine with that result and kind of build your community around that. And I think a lot of artists, because Short got he got a huge discography, man, are waking up and kind of understanding that where they true power lies, instead of trying to get on the trends, just to get popularity. How you feel about him making that statement and double down? Because I know we've had conversations and you kind of working your magic right now in the studio. How you feel about that position from Short?
I mean, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I mean, everybody got a lane, man. I think that's what make artists almost irrelevant, man, is when they try to fit into something that they just not in, they wasn't born into, man. This sound now is not our sound, and I respect that. You feel me? Long as you good at what you do, brother, like, Long and Short still coming with that Short music, you know what I'm saying? That Cadillac music, I'm with it, homie. You feel me? I love it. And that'll turn the youngsters on to something as well.
Yeah.
I really, it just don't sit right with me, man, when older artists or seasoned artists try to be trendy, man, and get into a new sound, bro, because it's very hard to pull off.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's somebody I think probably had some nominal success to it, but then even himself decided, that he didn't have to do it as much as E40. I think he was able to transcend in the early 2000s to that hip sound, right? That current sound, and still be successful. Gold record with Lil Jon. He was able to kind of reemerge himself because of that success, and then go back to his bass sound. You know what I'm saying? Later on after that, that's kind of what 40 was able to do. A lot of artists, like you said, can't do that. But again, he was able to sell records with that style, and it worked. And so therefore he had new attention, and he was able to take it back to the hyphy, back to the Bay. And his last effort definitely sounded like real Bay music. It didn't sound like anything South, you know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Do you
I
do you
respect it. I
yeah, do you,
respect it.
yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Because I was just gonna ask, do you feel like that's the wave now? Because I think you was early, right? You
Mhm.
was early in terms of not doing the wump 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 no more. We talked about that. And
Yeah,
then finding a sound that was appropriate for where you was at in your life to reflect your current um,
yeah.
reflection
I
and
think I think every artist should do that, man. Like
yeah,
whatever, my thing is w- I got two criteria for older artists, right? Like, seasoned artists. One is, you gotta be able to, your pen still gotta be there, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
100%.
you know, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So, if your pen is still there, dope.
Mhm,
If your sound is as good as it was or better,
mhm.
dope. There
Yeah,
was my two criteria, bro. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So long and short coming with that short music, I'm good, homie.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, the two records I've heard so far, it sound like some cocktails. I was like, oh, this sound like old sort, but it's not dated.
See,
Um,
that's dope. But you know
it's not
what?
like
You know who else
super
did that
old.
too? And I think he kind of took away from that and did it itself. Was
Mhm.
a Be Legit album. That last Be Legit album
Now you're
was
making
that.
a good point. Yeah, yeah. I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think Be Legit is another one. I don't want to. I didn't, but he kind of just stayed consistent with his sound. He
that
hasn't pivoted at all. He just block music mechanics. That's
that
my
part.
magic. I'm sticking to it. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? And he
That
and he
part.
he, he cutting
that
dope records with it. He ain't changing. He just doing what he doing. It's not like it's boring. It's just like be legit when that record come on. That's more like a brand thing. You know what I mean?
that part.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not mad at that take at all. Um, the next one we got is having to deal with intellectual property and like creator arts, creators rights, right? And
Mhm.
I don't know if you know my man Flossie, but me and Flossie, we do some things. Good dude. He's got a lot of services for marketing promotions. One of those kind of cats, is a lawyer, been around for a while. Um, but he does these interesting takes, 30-minute clips talking real fast with potent information. And this one has to do with intellectual property. So I'm gonna play this one, then we bust it down.
These billionaire tech executives are declaring an all-out war on artists and creators who don't want their life's work pillaged for profit. Look, I've always been a proponent of adapting and adjusting my music business with the times. We went from selling a $25 CD to Apple reducing the CD down to a 99-cent download to now streaming platforms sometimes paying 0.003 cents a stream. And I realize AI isn't going anywhere, so we all have to work together. But the artists have always been the ones that are making the sacrifice. The only way these platforms grow so big is off the back of the artist. These companies make billions of dollars using our music, and then they complain because they gotta pay pennies on the dollar to the same people that made them billionaires. Now, normally, I wouldn't be too concerned about somebody posting something simple as, hey, I wanna get rid of the IP law. However, Elon Musk is the president's sidekick. And Trump, as we all know, can make a decision to help his buddy out and change the IP laws that exact same day. So his posts are a little concerning to me. It's certainly easy for someone to make those comments who made billions of dollars with those same laws protecting them. Elon Musk made a comment on the Jay Leno show saying, patents are for the weak. Well, now he may sound like a really tough guy. However, I did a little research. He sued an Australian company called CapX, which is a company that makes batteries for computers, cameras, phones, etc. And Musk claims that CapX allegedly infringed on their patent with what Tesla called the primary source of the device's power and capabilities. Also, in 2022, Elon Musk sued a chicken restaurant in Manchester, England. Now, they named their business after the owner, Nikolai Tesla, and they called it Tesla Chicken and Pizza. And because Elon owned the trademark and the copyright to the name, the company was sued in order to pay Musk $5,000 for trademark infringement. Also, Elon's company Twitter, or X, is suing Zuckerberg's company Threads for allegedly stealing intellectual property. And Jack Dorsey's company Block is suing Bitcoin over allegations of trademark infringement. Look, I'm not mad at Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey for suing people that stole their ideas or intellectual property, but it's gotta go both ways. We need these intellectual property laws in place so that these billionaires don't wake up one morning and decide that they're not going to pay the artists for their music. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Have a great day.
So obviously, interesting take. Intellectual property, it's kind of like for those that female, what the hell you talking about? It's the thing that helps you protect who you are in the creative digital marketing and branding space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a logo, Dazzy D logo, the Lynch Mob Records logo, all these things are intellectual property that should belong to the people that either created them, purchased them for exclusive rights of use, or are branded alongside of them, right? And when somebody is like power, which I partially agree, and I'll tell you why, that as powerful as Elon Musk tells us that we shouldn't care about intellectual property, but then clearly uses intellectual property to his own benefit, that could be a problem, right? Because you got to imagine how people don't understand what that is, and just like, yeah, we agree because Elon Musk or whatever, and kind of just ignorantly or disingenuously just kind of going along with whatever he's saying instead of actually understanding what he's telling us. He's telling us to not care about protecting ourselves to make sure that we can benefit off our own creative intellectual properties, while he keeps his and sues people for them. What you think
Yeah.
about that, man?
Yeah, well, you know, that's that do what I say is not, but not as I do type thing, right?
Uh, huh.
You know, my thing is, brother, if it's ready and it's right and it's appropriate to use whatever that you know you need to use, and the
Mm-hmm.
person is getting paid for their services that they provide for you, then it's all good, bro. What else needs to be said, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I think now Trump, I know when he his first term signed an act that helped people with helped artists and writers and creators with their royalties and their publishing. Um, so I know Trump is hip in terms of protecting the creators and the artists. I think Elon might be detached from that aspect of it because he's purely corporate business, right? It's like if he can find a lane or a loophole that's going to benefit the corporation, then he's going to run with that. Those are the decisions that he kind of makes. That's how he kind of thinks, right? Um,
Mhm.
it'd be interesting to see how that bleeds over into some of the legislative laws that's been put in place to help protect creators and the things that they create in terms of monetizing and having rights to go
Yeah,
get royalties or publishing or what's owed to you. You know, you signed a bad deal or whatever the situation may be. Um, I think we need to be aware of that. I think has to be somebody that teaches that and kind of is the bridge between the heavy intellectual talk, high portions of that, and then just come into some basic understanding so you'll know what to look for and what stuff means and how to protect yourself.
exactly, brother. And you know what's funny too? Um, Something similar happened with what's our guy Bolo the producer, right?
Yeah, Polo. Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear what happened to him last week?
Nah, what
Yeah,
happened to Polo?
well he got flagged. He got flagged. YouTube flagged him
Mm,
for copyright infringement.
mm,
But it was a slice sample, and he used the
oh,
slice sample, and YouTube shut him down, took his bread, was like, nah, this is Slice on that. He was like, well, Slice is made for everybody that wanted is royalty free.
mm-hmm,
But see, this was the twist, right? I knew what was going on, homie, before because he came back on a couple days later and explained what happened, but I already knew what happened, right? Because
right.
this was the issue, homie, and this is
Mm-hmm,
the issue with a lot of people. So
mm-hmm,
producers, be careful with this. What happens is when you grab a royalty-free sample, which is all good. You can use it however you want. But this is where almost the intellectual properties come in.
mm-hmm.
When a producer takes a royalty-free sample and he makes a song, right? And he turns it into the DSPs and go, this is my song.
Yep.
Now that sample is no longer royalty-free to other artists because the DSPs and the algorithms is going to say he dropped this first, so this is his property, this is his song, this is his sample.
Mm-hmm,
So when other people want to chop and use that sample,
mm-hmm.
it gets shut down and get flagged because once again they think it's that person who sampled it first and released it first, and
So
that's it's really
it's a
weird
weird
right now.
game.
That homie.
It is. And what's supposed to happen is you're not supposed to be able to monetize royalty free. Hence the word or the term royalty free.
That
Now,
part.
you put that out on your DSP. You're not supposed to collect. So my son started rapping, 11, 12 years old. He hooks up with some producer on YouTube. Kid's kind of fired for his generation, makes that style of music for him. Starts grabbing beats off his YouTube, making his little mixtapes or whatever. He then wants to distribute this music. I'm knowing that it's not going to generate any money because he didn't buy a lease from this kid, right? So the money that he would generate would be only for the vocal composition and recording. He wouldn't make anything off of the production side of it because you snatching it from YouTube, and that kid owns the music still. So even if you distribute it, let's say, just hypothetically, you stream it at 1,000 streams, supposed to get 10 cents. You only getting 5 cents because you don't own that music. You didn't do any kind of agreement or any kind of rights agreement for that production. This instance, you're going to Splice. I think there's another one named Arcade. Splice and Arcade, if you're a producer and you use sound from there, it's royalty free. So technically, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to be able to sell that beat, right? And then I guess that's on the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like if you sell the beat, I got my money. It's kind of on the artist, right? And it's a royalty-free sample in there. The monetization is going to impact them. It's like a trickle down. In this case, he is the producer that then released the track on a DSP, which is YouTube, right? Because it's a DSP. And it got flagged because Splice flagged it as we still own it so that it could be reused again, like you stated in your comment earlier.
Yeah, well, no, you know what? Actually, Slice came to Bolo's rescue. Slice is not saying no, you can't use it. Slice is just that's what the biggest thing now about it is. They're behind closed doors trying to figure that out. Like Slice is like, okay, we can't keep coming to the rescue every single time y'all flag it because it's not supposed to get flagged. And YouTube is like, well, we're using the algorithms from the DSPs that's saying that this song is already copywritten. This song is already property to somebody. So us using that same algorithms, it's coming up as it's already being used. Whether Slice is like, you know, anybody can use it. The DSPs is stopping it, going, no, this particular artist using it is he owns it. So no, it's crazy.
So it was a sample that he selected that was already distributed by another artist, and he was unaware.
Yeah. Well, he chopped up a sample that somebody used and made a song with that's already in the algorithms.
Got it. So it's already stamped as distributed it and copywritten under that artist pipeline. So they already say, hey, this is out already, right? We already did our job, right?
That part.
The system can't negotiate what Splice's database is, right?
Yeah.
Once you put it on our platform, we lock it in, key. You know, it's got the tone identification tag on it. As soon as that 10 seconds of that thing playing, it knows exactly what it is, where it came from, and it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So
and that's the word I was looking for. The ID. The ID.
Yeah. There's an ID tag on everything on these databases is tagged, right? As soon as it goes out. So content tags. But that's interesting because there's a lot of cats and major cats that's using Splice.
That part right there,
right? So how they gonna stop that?
And that's where it's gonna get tricky. But I'm gonna say this to all producers: you could beat that by chopping the hell out of the sample, tuning it, detuning it, just making it your own. Because if you use a arcade Slice sample and you don't do nothing with it but loop it, bro, you asking for problems, homie.
Right, because it's too raw, it's too rich.
Take those royalties free samples and be creative.
Yeah. So it's another layer of creativity that needs to be discovered by using those particular tools. And I agree with that. I agree with that. Interesting times we in, man. It's getting really tricky out here, man.
Yeah.
Another one, and I'm excited for this one because it's more about industry, man, you know. And you got a lot of experience in there, bro. So I'm ready to chop it up about this one. Hold up.
Ain't your friend, and the problem is
make a record like Meek Mill. Talk about it.
Nah, for real. The problem is the industry keep people like a punch.
Problem is is the representation and the political powers in the culture that keep trying to move the goalposts to suit their narrative at that present point.
Boy.
You niggas disgust me.
And that's
you niggas disgust me.
I'm glad you said that because I hate you niggas too. I hate you niggas too.
Talk about it.
I hate you motherfuckers who your friend caught a fucking hit record and now you got an executive VP position and now you telling the next artist to do what worked for your funky ass friend. This ain't your friend, bro. This ain't your friend. And the problem is
make a record like Meek Mill. Talk about it.
Nah, for real. The problem is the industry keep people like a Punch or a Ray Daniels or a hit maker away from being an executive because they know these niggas know they gonna make me have to show up every day to work. They gonna fuck up my check because they know what they talking about, and I can't get away with just freelance work no fucking more. I love what he just said because that's the main fucking problem in hip hop is we got too many people running it that don't come from it.
Ooh.
There's too many motherfuckers that run our industry that don't come from it.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. That's a hot take, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel like it's a hot take.
Okay.
Because and the guys he named I highly respect as A&Rs. They cut their teeth. They're people that you should go look at, and you know, for anybody watching, in terms of how to put your friends on and how to monetize and do deals, and that actually are beneficial. Ray Daniels probably got 2 or 3 number ones on the radio right now. He works with a writer. I forgot my man's name, but he's out of the Bahamas. Cold dude just won Writer of the Year at the last Oscars. Academy Awards. All intents and purposes, hitmaker, great producer, was an artist, found his lane as an A&R or as a record executive through the Empire ecosystem. Cats like that know the music tend to move a little bit different from somebody who got brought in under the guise of being connected to somebody who has success and now has an opportunity to network and get placed in a position in a corporate record label and really doesn't know music. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't understand records, but just got an opportunity based off their association to an artist that got them in a room to you know, get placed at a label. 2 different flavors. Both of those flavors produce different types of fruit in the music industry. Some of the fruit that you can see from the people that get placed based off of being associated with successful artists is you'll see these one and done artists. You'll see something flare up and burn out real quick because they don't know how to work it, or because the record wasn't all the way complete, or the artist wasn't all the way ready to go, but they just like what they like and they just sign it, whatever, right? Some of the fruit of the Ray Daniels and the hit makers is long lasting music. You know, these artists will be back again. If they did it once, they can do it again with different artists. They can reinvent themselves because they have a raw talent that's been cultivated and is ready for that spotlight. What's your opinion and take on those 2 different kind of like lanes that can take place in the culture?
Well, my thing with corporate, bro, is I really don't, like I spoke on it last week, right? I really don't like when corporate try to tamper, or I don't even want to give them the power to decide what's hot, what's not, how things should go. You know what I'm saying? I've always been let the streets dictate that, and what I mean by the streets is, you know, the foundation, you know, of where it's created at, right? The ground floor of it all. Yeah. My thing is, you know, it's kind of the same. All right, let me just tell you my approach on it, right?
Okay.
Here's my thing about A&Rs, bro.
Yeah.
A&Rs has one of the riskiest jobs, homie, in the music industry.
Sure.
Their job is to go find talent, right?
Yes.
Here's the thing about A&Rs, though, homie. It's hard for them to do their job when their job is constantly on the line, right? And when their job is constantly on the line, they get spooked and they don't go do what they're supposed to do, right? Because you're only as good as your last artist, last hit. So if you bring somebody, there's no time to really, you gotta win from the jump, right? That artist gotta be ready to go and win, right? And I get that part, but I also hate the fact that A&Rs got lazy, and what they did was they sat back and they said, okay, I'm not going to risk my job because I got to feed my family. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pay attention to this internet and
Yeah.
whatever's popping. That obviously that's what
That's the next thing. Yeah.
want, right? So
Yeah.
let's go get them and
Mhm.
sign them and
Mhm.
everything to take care of itself. So I
Mhm.
hate that part of it, homie, because it, you know, that's the corporate side that I hate, because it's like, no, that's not it. Yes, you know, you could get popular off the internet. Yes, the internet can kind of, but it doesn't. It's shown you that if you do it that way, you got a million people sounding the same when you do it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And yeah, well, let me piggyback that for with a couple points. I agree with you. I agree with you in the sense that A&R shifted when the internet became popular, specifically social media like MySpace, YouTube. Now you got Instagram, Facebook, where there's a lot of talent displaying their talent, right? That's been undiscovered. So you could really just search and run across. I think that's how Bieber got discovered on YouTube, right? So there is a percentage that can work. And I think it comes down to the A&R knowing what they're looking at when they find it, right? Because there's a lot of talent online that is just good for online. It's not a real world talent like stages, media, studio work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Come over here, go sit over there. Everybody ain't built for that. It's different. You in your room playing a guitar, singing. That don't mean you ready for that. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
Your job is it should be to filter that out and really test it before you take it to market or take it to the building. With that said, I feel like the time is right for the old school A&R. It's kind of like coming back, where we getting outside and we going to events and we feeling the energy of these potential acts, and we talking to them and we seeing who they moving with and we seeing how they carrying themselves. Is this person a drunk? Is he on dope? But like, we finding out all the stuff by meeting you before, even if you pop in online or not. I think the meetup is what is the piece that was missing in recent years past, where they've discovered it's hot. They got a following. I can bring hey, we got 100,000 followers. And I think Bobby Shmurda is a victim of that. Even though I know he had other things that kind of cut his run short. I don't know if he would still be around even if he didn't have to do that time. Just based off of the way that record came about, it was buzzing, and they struck while it was hot, and he couldn't follow up with another one. Even right. It couldn't come with another one that was going to top that energy, right? Because that was just one of them records. The street started vibing with it, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you know what? Because that was part of the A&R, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
artist development. Artist development is gone, huh?
Right. Budgets and all that good stuff. But I'm seeing just in the independent game, I'm seeing independent artists go find these A&Rs that aren't working at these labels and put them on a team, and then using that knowledge and that know-how to help build their own independent empires and communities, which I think is genius, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of moving back to the streets instead of letting corporate dictate. And then we taking what we do in the streets and we go into corporate and say, this is what we built and this is how we want to partner.
Yeah.
Right. And if it fits, let's do it. If it don't, we're gonna keep it moving.
That part. And that's all we need y'all to do. Corporations, that's all we need y'all to do. Fund that money. I don't need you to pull up no graphs and go, well, it's show over here. None of that.
You say you want no data transmit. Y'all don't show me don't give me no pivot tables, none of that, man.
Yeah, none of that. You know what I'm saying?
The people got to say it's hot, man. It's got to be something that's alive and moving in the streets, man. It's not
exactly,
something you can see.
And that's what hip hop was founded on, right?
Yeah, that's what hip hop is. Yeah, word. I like this one you sent over. This the T-Pain one. So we gonna play this one and we gonna react, man, because I remember this and I'm interested to hear your take on this, man. Let me get it squared away here.
Do some different music. We have all the shit that you're doing. We already have it. Lil Uzi Vert is already doing it. Lil Baby is already doing it. The Baby is. Do some different music. We have all the shit that you're doing. We already have it. Lil Uzi Vert is already doing it. Lil Baby is already doing it. Dub Baby is already doing it. It's literally 2 niggas with baby in their names that's already doing all the music you want. We have it already. You don't have to do that music anymore. We have the music already. We have Lil Baby, we have Dub Baby, we have Lil Uzi Vert, we have Lil Yachty, we have Lil everybody. Do something else. Holy shit. I don't give a fuck what my records do. I don't give a fuck about numbers. I don't give a fuck about that shit because I know all that shit can be bought. Oh, this person got their first week is planning on their first week can be bought. Their sales, their streams can be bought. You can buy them. I don't give a fuck about that. Grammys can be bought. Awards can be bought. All of that shit can be bought. I don't give a fuck about that shit. But I do give a fuck about you doing something different with your fucking music. Do something different.
Hot take from my man T-Pain, man. Hot take from T-Pain. Give it to me. Delay it on me, man.
Hey, homie, I agree with him 1,000%, bro. Look, the frustration comes from the lack of creativity, homie. And that's, once again, we're talking about music here. We're talking about a lane that you develop for yourself, man. The creativity is so important to music, bro, that the newer generation just don't understand that part, homie. Now, don't get it twisted. You know, if you do your research on the internet, you know, you can see some talented young cats that's dope in their own lane, but the majority, right? The mainstream and the majority of the artists all sound alike. There's no one's taking pride in creativity, homie. No one's taking pride going, okay, I can do this, but I can do it my way. And I don't understand what's wrong with that, bro. That is the beauty of music. Do it your way.
Right. No, I agree with it. I think we need to get outside of I saw another podcast with my man Kato, the producer, who interviewed one of the executives from Spotify, and he asked him about that monthly listeners number on your artist profile, and basically it came down to the fact that's just vanity metrics. It's not a true representation of your impact to your community in terms of engaged, converted supporters, which, you know, means they're not only willing to stream your music or your song, but they're able to go to your website, maybe buy a t-shirt, maybe buy some physical products, whether it be a hat, or LP, some wax or something, or a CD, or, you know, whatever you decided to turn into a product to help push your music. I think that's more of a true, like, I'd rather have 300 supporters that are going to purchase something than 20,000 monthly listeners.
No, that part already. Because here's the part, homie. The thing is, if you got diehard fans, right? Even if the number is 300, like you said, if you got 300 diehard fans, you should be able to at least generate $3,000 a month.
Sure. If you know how to,
if you know what you're doing, and you know how to cater to your fan base, right? So it doesn't matter about being known or being popular if those fans aren't supporting you and your work and really getting behind your movement. That's what it's about, homie. It's about your movement.
Yeah, 100%. And I think artists need to wake up to the vanity metrics. Like, it's cool. I know we all want to get traction. I don't necessarily want to be popular more than I want to have impact. And if the impact is a reflection of those numbers, then I'm cool with it. But I'm not just chasing the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I use the numbers as a potential projection of metric to give me an idea. But I know artists that are just literally chasing the numbers. And for a minute, late 2010s, it was like, how many followers you got? How many followers you got? Like, dog, you like, You should be asking me who's in my phone. Like, who can I call? Who can I text? Versus, you know, how many followers I got. But with all that said, it was confirmed, and I think we should pull it. We should probably add that into the next show, to kind of go through that, because dude really broke it down from Spotify side, only on what those numbers mean, and how artists should be looking at that and how they should be used. I think it'd be a great conversation. So look for that to come, because I know Spotify is like a huge focus right now in the game, and people are trying to figure out streaming and what it all means, and I think that conversation is going to grant some clarity. So I think it'd be appropriate. We'll chop.
Oh yeah. I got a nice
Sure, I
whole
know you do.
about
Yeah, I know
Spotify.
you.
I can't wait for us to get into that, bro.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into that. The other thing that we got is YouTube launched an AI assistant tool which generates royalty-free music for videos. Now, this goes back to our conversation about Splice, because here we are again. I think YouTube is, if it's not number 2, it's top 3 in music streaming, just from a subscriber base, like the amount of people that are on the platform around the world, right? Surely from that aspect, they're one of the largest. Because if you remember when YouTube first came out, that was one of the first places where you could put your music, like even if it was just happening in videos, like arbitrarily, whether you're in the studio or you shoot music videos, we was dumping it on YouTube first. So it naturally became one of the leaders in music streaming, just by the type of content it was able to house early in 2007 or whatever it was, before Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, how you feel about them launching AI that's going to generate royalty-free music, knowing what we know about the limitations for creatives and some of the issues they can run into with the ownership of so-called royalty-free?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, bro. I think that it's just another way to push the creators and the writers and the producers, to the wayside, bro. Like if you're saying, okay, AI is going to generate something that you and I made, right?
Right.
They're going to take it and just do their version of it, and you can use ours for free, right? That's the BS, homie, and that's
Right.
going to be very damaging to the art form. It's almost going to not make creators want to create, bro, because what's the use, right? If you're not going to be the biggest thing, if you're not going to be paid, right? But even if you're not going to be recognized, if you're not going to be, if your music is not going to hold any value, why do it then? You know what I'm saying? And I think that AI has a lot of potential to destroy that, homie.
Yeah, I'm I'm a techie, man. I'm into tech. I like AI for particular uses, but I do think there needs to be guardrails around it when it comes to creativity, right?
That part.
You see what Timbaland's doing with Suno, right?
Yeah.
So soon he's champion. He's partnered with him already. He's championing it. It's basically a product that he's an ambassador of. But basically, you could take, like you did Loud Silence. I could have took Loud Silence, loaded in the Suno, told it strip all the music that you did, and then took song by song and said, "Hey, create me a soulful Motown vibe beat for this record," and it would have created that sound bed for the vocals that I provided from the original recording of Loud Silence. That's the capability of Suno.
Yeah.
Without having to talk to producers, without having to talk to the artists. There's no deal structure in place for that remix. I'm just taking stuff and arbitrarily making AI generated remixes
Yeah,
or content.
Here's the thing though, Dub. Like my issue is I have no problem with what's the word I'm looking for, with competition, right? I have no problem. Like if AI think it could do what I do, fine, right? My biggest issue though is that Google is turning around and saying you can use ours for free. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
No,
Right. Right.
no backlash, no nothing. So if AI can generate something that Don Dub did
Yeah.
or does, and they go, oh yeah, by the way, you can use that for free,
It's cutting me out.
it's
Yeah.
cutting
'Cause
you
now
out,
you're giving it.
bro.
Yeah. It's like shortstopping.
You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah. You
cock
shortstopping
blocking,
on the
right?
block, bro. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So that is my biggest issue, homie. That right there. Like,
That's
okay,
valid.
if
That's
you
valid.
go,
That's valid.
and I don't know how to fix that though, because I don't, because AI is becoming limitless as far as what you can and can't do with it. That's
Right.
going to be another great thing to see how you, like you said, how they're going to regulate that, homie, and
Yeah.
go, okay, this done gone too far. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or this is that, or we got to stop that. Because trust me, homie, when you can't, only thing we could probably do is stay ahead of it. But here's the thing about AI: it's not made to stay ahead of, because all it's going to do is adapt
Right. It's gonna
quickly.
watch everything that we put out, right? Because all they doing, everything you put out, they get access to it and feed it into the AI.
You feel me?
So it's going to get the information and say, "Oh, that's tight," or "I learned about this." Or I learned that it's going to take it in,
Yeah,
and you're helping develop the brain of the, you know what I'm saying, by putting
that
whatever out.
part,
I'm not
homie.
saying don't put your stuff out. I'm just saying that's what's happening. I did think I saw a lawsuit on Chat GPT and them using um, IP that they said they didn't use to help develop Chat GPT. So I think we're going to see more lawsuits like that come up because people are going to start challenging, like, how they learn how to do these bass lines or these chords. Um, for whatever these styles are, you had to use something that was publicly released, which means it was
That
copyrighted.
part. That part.
You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah.
there's going to be some pullback once they start getting under the hood and figuring out how these cats develop these learning models early to get them to as good as they are now, right? Because you can go and do it now, and it's only been a year or two since it's been like really, really rolled out all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm interested in some of that litigation that's going to happen coming up because people will start questioning how I learned how to do this.
You know what's funny, homie? I don't know if you remember this, Dub. It might have been it was a while ago, homie. Maybe about 7, 8 years ago. It might even been 10 years ago when Google Play. Remember when Google Play first came out?
Yeah, yeah,
And Google Play was like, upload all your music to here.
yeah.
Upload all your music, or your whole library. Just upload it so you can have it. You
I
can have.
remember that.
Now I'm starting to see that
Like, yo, you
wasn't
took my whole because they had Google Play, and then I think they discontinued it, and they gave you like
yeah,
so long to download all your stuff from Google Play and
yeah.
upload it. I remember that. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
homie, hey, look, man, they were doing all that for their benefit, homie. That was AI soaking up all that game, homie. Because I happily uploaded my whole library, bro. It might have been like,
Well, it was cool because it was like I didn't have to have a data connection to play my joint. Like once I
yeah, but
uploaded it, it let you play the offline. You could have your records wherever you was at.
yeah, but see, this how I know it was something shady about it. Because like you said, when they stopped it,
Yeah,
they didn't give you an alternative. Alternative was iTunes,
right,
YouTube Music. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
right, right,
if you
right,
want to
right.
listen to these same songs that you have in your system, you can
Mm-hmm.
no longer use them now, but you can still listen to them if
Mm-hmm.
you go ahead and
Gotta
and
go over
and
there. You gotta go to our platform.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. They gaming us. They gaming us. So get you a website, artists, producers. Get you a website. House your own content and run
That
ads
part.
for your own website, man. Start telling people where to go to get directly in contact with you and support you directly, man. Because I think that's where this is headed until everything else is ironed out, which could take years. It could take decades, man. You know what I mean? It's not going to be something that's resolved quickly because these are billion-dollar entities that are seemingly going to war for finances. So you know how that goes.
That part, homie. That part.
My favorite segment now. We get into it, man. This is it right here. Debate corner. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, top 5 most creative artists,
Hmm.
sound and visual only.
Okay. Um, it's gonna be all over the place, time frame wise, though.
Yeah,
Is that
all
that's
good, all good.
um okay, this is how I'm approaching, right? I'm approaching in the sense of going, when this artist dropped,
Mm-hmm.
they shifted the whole music industry by doing so.
Okay.
So
Okay.
NWA
Ooh.
would be one.
Ooh. Okay.
I think street music was street rap, but reality rap became reality rap when they did what they did. So NWA, Missy Elliott.
Mm.
I think Missy Elliott showed that you could just let your imagination run wild, and I think that birthed the Busta Rhymes videos and the craziness. So I got to give Missy Elliott her flowers.
Word.
I think Snoop did the same thing. I think when people heard Snoop, they gravitated towards that laid back, smooth flow. I mean, because everybody named Mama sounded like Snoop for a minute, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give that to him. That'll make 3, right? T-Pain.
Okay.
I think once T-Pain dropped, the whole industry shifted, and yeah. What's the name of auto tune? The birth of auto tune, right?
Came through T-Pain for
That's
sure.
still going on today, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
got to give my brother T-Pain up there. He up there.
Mhm.
That's 4. Let's go producer since we didn't already did rapping.
Okay.
I gotta say Drake.
Okay.
I gotta say Drake because Drake actually he showed that you could add a musical element to hip hop where hip hop was just sampling and Drake actually took the time to go in and have live musicians come in and replicate what everyone was doing, but it had that live feel. So I got to give Drake shifted the momentum as far as producing. So that's my top 5.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. My 5 is Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
I just think that visually, his aesthetics at the time, some of the stuff that he was doing with hype and the lenses they decided to use. I don't think hip hop envisioned that it could look that way. You know what I'm saying? I think he for whatever he came up with, it was like, damn, that shot was crazy, or the coloring. He was the one that was the first one that I remember doing a color sequence, and the room would be the same color as his outfit.
Yeah.
And it'd be some crazy color, and it would make everything else pop, right? It was like, damn. So I give Busta that. Andre 3000, man.
Ooh,
I think he was the color of Outkast, right? Big Boy's hard as an MC, but I think what Andre brought to Outkast, and then even as a solo career, was just the aesthetic of what the visual, like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that's crazy. Or he always pushed the envelope in that regard. Even part of Outkast and when he was solo. Nicki Minaj. People sleep on Nicki's videos, and they are what they are, but just visually, she's always got high quality cinematic. Her designs are always like treated. You can tell somebody come in and color treat everything and design it, map it out. It's not, she don't do a lot of run and gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never seen Nicki run and gun like that. It's like always really highly produced. So, just as an MC, as a rapper, you gotta like, oh, okay. And E40. Sound wise. I think 40 got dissed, not dissed, but people didn't understand 40 when he first started coming out like that. They thought it was like weird, and but then you see what happened. People caught up, and now he's heralded as somebody who's given a lot of verbiage to hip hop's dictionary. You know what I'm saying? People that in terms of all the lingo that he was providing in his raps, people now like borrowing it and snatching it, kind of trying to act like they came up with it, or maybe they not really give him his flowers. So I want to give 40 that sound wise. And then Missy, I had Missy on my list visually. I think the creative stuff that she was doing visually, along with her sound too. I think her and Timbo's sound together was crazy, and they went on a run. But then when she added her visual flavor to it, it just kind of took it to another level. In terms of the buy-in, she always on Virginia or DMV area, but she was slapping out here on the coast because she was creative. It was different.
And to add to that too, since you're saying that, honorable mention would be Timberland as far as producers go too.
100%.
Yeah, them triplets and them hi-hats.
Yeah. His pocket was crazy. His pocket's different. He always got a bounce in there, like a little. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The next one is Mount Rushmore. The Mount Rushmore of the R&B hook on hip hop records. So that's four. That's four. Um, and the way that I've heard it, or I listened to it be summed up, is the four. If you look at the Mount Rushmore's presidents that had a different impact throughout time, for the United States, right? So they were that impactful during their time for their generation, and they had a different impact, right? Uh, so my for that specifically, like singing an R&B on hip hop hooks, is gonna be like Nate Dogg, Cocaine, Akon, and T-Pain.
Hey,
With
homie, I
with an
can't be
honorable
mad.
mention, R. Kelly.
I can't be mad at that, homie. I can't be mad. I cannot be mad at that at all. Only thing, because I'm not gonna even create a list because you said my list, brother. I can't. But I do want to add one more though.
Okay, who you want to add?
Think about this line of work. Every hook she's been on, she killed. Mary J. Blige, homie.
Mary J.
Yeah.
Mary J. Method Man.
All that, homie. You feel me?
Yeah, no, okay. But do you think it's enough there though?
Father MC.
Father,
If you do for me, I'll do for you. Yeah, she killed that
you-
hook, homie.
yeah. Okay, I'm not mad at the Mary mention. I'm not. I got to give it to her. She's in a league of her own in terms of. I was debating this with listening to Glasses debate this. In terms of just being a pure R&B artist. So the way she was introduced to us was more some hip hop R&B. When she broke in, it was that first single was like a hip hop R&B because that beat was hip hop, and she was just singing over it.
Yeah.
So that was like the hip hop R&B crossover type deal. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can agree to that. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all, man. That's a good mention. How you feel about the Kells mention though?
The who?
R. Kelly.
I you know what, homie? You know what I would give R. Kelly? I agree. His hooks was phenomenal, but I think his body of work more what he did for me when he stepped out and started doing those remixes, homie. When he started popping up on remixes.
Yeah. It's the remix to that boy.
Yeah.
Out the kitchen. That boy.
Yeah.
He different, man. Anything you want to give to the people before we get out of here, man? Any messages and anything you want to convey for today's episode?
Nothing much, but thank you for looking, man. You know, thanks for taking your time out to listen to two brothers, man, that's trying to figure, out a way to help this thing grow and bubble, which we call the music industry, man. I want to thank everybody that's supporting us. I want to thank you, Don Duff, for your knowledge, homie. Like, the funny part is, and you said this our first episode, homie, this is how we talk behind closed doors when the cameras is off, bro. You feel me? So to be able to break bread with information and just talk and share with the people, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, homie.
No, that's 100%, man. I thank you for riding with me, man, and supporting. I echo some of the same sentiments, man. Thank you guys for tapping in. Continue to show up. We're gonna be consistent. We're gonna deliver information. We're gonna deliver, candor. This is Dazzy D. You know what I mean? Like, we up here just having a conversation that we would always have, but we felt they were dope enough and insightful enough to present them to you guys, bring you guys into the family, man. So thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do. Like and comment as well. It helps us on the platform, stay in the algorithm and push that content out to new people that may not be aware of this show. Please follow us on Instagram. We about to get real active with this. Dazzy, man, I appreciate you. You went on a cold promo. You've been pushing and promoing, and I see you working, dog. So I thank you for putting your energy and time into that. It's much appreciated, man. When I'm moving around doing my day-to-day thing, you pushing and being super creative and tapping in, and a lot of the stuff you guys are seeing is Dazzy's work, man. So we kind of like tag teaming on different lanes trying to make this thing happen. So I appreciate you just rocking with me, man, and putting your hat in. We're gonna make
get
this
it,
thing
bro. West Wit It, homie.
West Wit It, man, all the way. Y'all stay locked in. We go live on our West Wit It YouTube page. So where you seen this video, make sure you subscribe and click the bell, because when we go live, we want you to get that hit. Come join us. We're gonna start building our community and tapping in with our loved ones and our people. So we do that every third Friday. And we'll let you guys know what that is on our IG with a post. But once again, this is episode 2 of West Wit It. My boy Dazzy D, appreciate you, brother, man. Dope conversation. Let's do it again next week.
Let's go. Let's run it back.
Peace.